Welcome back to Lesson 2, Multiplying and Dividing Rational Expressions. This is 3 and 4. These are the last two multiplication problems that we're going to do together, and then in the next two videos we're going to do some division of rational expressions. At any point in time, if you'd like to pause the video and try to practice these on your own, you can. Remember that you do need to be turning in some notes, so I would like to see what you did along with me, as well as any extra practice that you have. So let's look at this one. Now remember, when we're multiplying, we're going to look at trying to factor each part. So I'm going to rewrite now. X plus 1 doesn't factor. You could factor out a 1, but that's not going to change anything. Here, x squared minus 25, that's going to factor to x plus 5 and x minus 5. X plus 5 doesn't factor. But here, this does factor. Two numbers and multiply to give me 7, add to give me 8 are 1 and 7. Alright, so I factored everything. Now I'm going to connect, even though these are not in line, I'm going to connect and make it one big fraction bar. And I'm going to look to see what cancels. But remember, before we actually cancel, I want to also look at my restricted values. Looks like I'm going to have 4 maybe? Yeah, I have 4 different parentheses down here, so I'm going to have 4 different restricted values. So x is not allowed to be negative 5, x is not allowed to be positive 5, x is not allowed to be negative 1, and x is not allowed to be negative 7. Alright, so you can put parentheses around these if it makes you feel a little bit more comfortable, but I'm looking for exact same things, and x plus 1's cancel. X plus 5's cancel. Nobody's upstairs, so I do have to put in a 1. And then x minus 5, x plus 7. That's the answer to problem number 3. We've got our restricted values, and we've got our final answer, our simplified fraction. Remember, you can multiply those out, not required though. Alright, oh my goodness. Problem number 4. Alright, definitely can factor out a 3 here, but I'm going to probably have to do slide and divide. And that's not going to factor. Here I can do a greatest common factor. Here I'm going to have to do slide and divide. 11's not going to, we're not going to be able to break this down at all. So some of these are going to require more effort and more work than other pieces. So let's factor out a 3. 15 times 3 is 45. So 15q squared minus q minus 2. Remember, factoring out that greatest common factor first makes our numbers smaller and easier to work with. Alright, so I've got q squared minus q minus 30. Okay, that's going to be a negative 6 and a positive 5. Let me write it to where I can get my division signs up here. And then I have to go back and divide by 15. So I'm looking at reducing 6 over 15 and 5 over 15. So 6 over 15 reduces to 2, if I divide both of these by 3, 2/5. And 5 over 15 reduces to 1/3. Alright, so I'm going to start writing my answer down here. So this is going to be 3. I'm going to bring that 5 up as a coefficient, so 3 times 5q minus 2. And I'm going to bring this 3 in front of this q, so 3q plus 1. Alright, that was a little bit of a workout. Whew! Alright, over q squared times, now here I'm going to factor out 2. Yeah, I think that's going to be a 2q. 7q plus 5. So factor out a 2q, and we have a 7q plus 5 left over. So far, I'm not having much to cancel, so maybe we'll get some help over here. Alright, we're going to have to move this 35 over, so I'm looking at q squared plus 11q minus 350. Alright, 350 It's not divisible by 21. 350 is divisible by probably 7s. 14 and 25. So a positive 25 and a negative 14. So I'm going to do Q plus 25, Q minus 14. So I'm factoring this up here because I need room. I'm going to divide by 35. And I'm going to reduce this fraction. So 25 over 35 is, I can divide by 5. So 5 over 7. So that makes this 7Q plus 5. And then divide by 7, so Q minus 2 over 5, so 5Q minus 2. Alright, so I've got it all. I'm going to connect these. I'm going to state my restrictions. Q is not allowed to be 0, of course. If you look back here, Q is not allowed to be negative 5/7, and Q is not allowed to be positive 2/5. Alright, I'm running out of room. Let's see if I can get another sheet of paper here. Sometimes it happens, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so there's our restrictions. Alright, so then let's see what cancels. Got 5Q minus 2's, 7Q plus 5's, and then I have a Q on top and basically Q times Q, right, on the bottom, so I'm going to cancel out one of the Q's. A lot of stuff canceled, so let's see. We've got 3 times 3Q plus 1 all over Q. And Q is not allowed to be 0. I'm just going to get this down here with everything else because it kind of had all of that stuff kind of separated. Alright, so there's our answer. Remember, you can't cancel here. You could distribute if you really wanted to, and you could technically pull it apart, but I'm happy with this, except you can't see it. There you go. So I'm happy with what we have right here. Remember, you can rewrite if you need to. So that is examples 3 and 4.